Hi peoples, Billy the Crayon here, and today I am in World of Warcraft on my level 65 douche knight, and I am going to show you how to tank like a goddamn boss. Now, I the character I have has full tanking heirlooms on him, the bind on account items. And I haven't really started tanking with him too much, and I haven't really played him much after level 58 until I got those tanking items, which came out with 4.2. And I gotta say, I am fucking loving them. It's pretty amazing. Now, this video is actually in response to a video on TGN World of Warcraft. It's a great channel. They show all kinds of useful information for every class, and I love watching those videos. Now, one of the directors on that channel, by the name of Big C, he is also tanking on a Lobby Death Knight, and he has been asking questions about how to do it properly, things like holding aggro and all that stuff. And from what I could tell, he's pretty much doing things okay, from what I could see. And and I'll say this right now, I'm not perfect at this whole tanking thing on a Death Knight or anything. I'm pretty mediocre at it, but I did study it a little bit before I actually went into my first instance and everything, and I did. And basically, as you can see, what I'm trying to do here is I will grab a hold of the biggest motherfucker I could find, and I will put my diseases up on him, the Icy Touch and the Plague Strike, I think it is. And then I'll spread that around with Pestilence to the other ones that wouldn't survive if I tried to put those up. So that's why I look for the biggest one, the one with the biggest health pull, because he's most likely to survive getting 2 diseases up on him, and a Pestilence. And then after I get the Pestilence up, I'll just spam Blood Boil. And right here I have a little bit of a fail because of the cooldown on because of my blood runes, but overall it wasn't too bad. I have the oh shit button I try to keep for AoE packs is the Death and Decay, because that is amazing for those. Now, as far as tanking bosses at this level, especially with this gear, but I think with any even the regular Death Knight gear or like tanking gear, for the most part, I'd say save your cooldowns for trash. These bosses die very quickly and extremely easily. Like I've never had any trouble on a boss yet. Now, when I get to Lich King content, that might change once I hit level 68 or 70, something like that. When I start doing the dungeons there, and I'm not even questing on this guy. Like I'll turn in quests that I get from dungeons, but that's it. And I'm just storming through the levels. Now, 2 big things. Now, Big C, his Death Knight is level 63, I think now. This guy, I'm level 65, and you get a few big things at level 65. You get a proper taunt that has an 8-second cooldown, that Dark Command. And you also get an actual buff you can put up, which is nothing that special, but it's something cool nonetheless. As you can see, that was a quick one, so I'll go into the next instance here. And this one wasn't too bad either. I did make some mistakes, and no one died. That's one of the things right now. Everyone's just steamrolling through this stuff. But I don't know if you read the actual party chat there earlier, but they had a druid tank before, and I guess he wasn't doing so good. But yeah, some of the pulls I do in this instance, you'll see there's some pretty big pulls in here, but they don't get off. You you won't see them right at the start. I like to give this little message before I actually start anything. Before I start tanking an instance, I let them know. I let the healer know, look, if I'm pulling too slowly or too fast, let me know, because I can slow down or speed up or whatever. But I basically look at the for people like Big C and stuff like that, they know this stuff already because they're Big C is a tank anyways, I believe. But yeah, like I will just keep an eye on the healer's mana bar, and as long as that's pretty much full, I'm pulling. I don't care what's going on. I watch to make sure he is right there with me in healing range and that he has good mana, and I just keep going. But yeah, that's pretty much how that goes. And as far as pulling, like a lot, I do have some big pulls in here, and whenever I can, I like to do the biggest pull that I can find. And I don't mean that sexually. But anyways, yeah, like I'll try to, but I'm not going to like stretch myself out too far, because just the problem, like if I try to get one pack and then go like 10-20 yards down the way and try to pick up another pack at the same time, it's not going to work. I'm going to lose aggro, and people are going to pay for it. So if I can, I will drag another few into it. You'll see here I'll get like 2 or 3 packs of them, but for the most part it's pretty straightforward. And for AoE packs, I generally try to just put up my 2 diseases like I mentioned earlier, the Icy Touch and the Plague Strike, I believe it's called. I'll put those up, and then I will Pestilence, and then I will just Blood Boil and Death Strike for the most part. Oh, and I'll use Death Coil whenever I'm at full runic power. Although I do fail at that sometimes too. I usually forget about that actually. And but yeah, it's not too bad. And if it's just one, then if it's just like one mob that I'm fighting, or for boss fights, single target, I will just use Heart Strike and Death Strike, and of course Death Coil. Now, here's a perfect example of what I usually do. I'll just try to get them in the circle here in the Death and Decay, spread my diseases around, and you'll see I have a really good add-on here, and I believe it was Rudikar, or it might have been Towley, I'm not sure. Someone on the TGN network mentioned this is a good add-on to use, which is that Tidy Bars, which is their Tidy Plates, that's it, which is the nameplates above the enemies in front of my target's heads. And my diseases will pop up on them, so I know when I need to refresh my diseases on like the other guys or whatever. So as you see there, the diseases popped up. I just need to mouse over them and they pop up. And you'll also see the icons to the right and the left, like the yellow icons. That lets me know that I'm losing aggro on it and someone's going to pull. So I can target that easily and start tanking it. That's the only real tanking add-on that I use for my Death Knight. I don't use any of the ones that I've seen in Big C's latest video, which I will be linking to this so people can know what I'm talking about. But yeah, as you see, it's pretty much straightforward, these small little AoE packs. And I usually don't really have any aggro troubles at all. As long as I can get a Blood Boil or 2 off, then I'm good. And I try to save the Death and Decay for when I think there might be some trouble with it. But from here on, I know I'm not going to have any trouble until the cooldown is up. So I just used it on that last pull. And here's something I like to do with like 2 guys that are far apart like this, because once I attack one, and if a healer heals, then he's going to pull aggro. So I'll death coil one of them, and I will attack the other one with my icy touch, and that puts them solid on me, and then I don't need to really worry about it. That's the same with like my warrior. I will heroic throw one guy and charge the other, and it usually works out quite well. As you see, someone's DPSing the wrong target here, but it's not really much of a problem. But yeah, and boss fights, like I say, they are way too easy, especially with this gear. But I think with any gear, these bosses, they just go down easy. It's just like all you need to do is just your regular single target rotation. Put up your diseases, heart strike, death strike, and death coil when it's up. And that's pretty much it. And a lot of these bosses, they haven't even finished a lot of their like big abilities. They're just dying so quickly because everyone else is geared to the tits too. And that's one of the good things that I like about tanking on a douche night is not only am I the tank and I do like huge pulls, but I also have the highest DPS in pretty much every instance that I ran, and that just shows how easy it is to play it. And healers love having a douche night in the group because they like hardly need to heal. And it's just healing the one guy because they're so good at holding aggro. Once you establish aggro, then it's not too tough. Another thing that I like to do is I will, I believe I show this later on. I'm not sure, but I will save my my death grip for the casters, since they like to sit back and cast on me all day while the melee guys run up. I will just death grip them into the melee, and there you go. And you can spread your diseases on them and stuff, because that's the biggest problem with tanking is casters. And you can ask any tank that is anything that's going to sit back and cast. They can be a bitch sometimes to get to cooperate, but it's not too hard now with like silences on a lot of the tanks and things like that, and death grip for death knights. And there's the thing, I have death grip, and they also have that strangulate silence. So yeah, overall I am really enjoying leveling on Death Knight, just doing it this way, because it's just so much fun just being able to tank everything in an instance. And I'm going to show you a huge pull right here. This is a pretty big one, and this is what I mean too by overstretching yourself. I kind of do it here, but it's not too bad. Like I'll lose aggro on one of them, but as you see here, I try to pick up these groups here, and I lost that one. So, but as you see, I try to get the Death and Decay in a centralized location where everybody's going to hit it, because then I have aggro on them, and I'm probably not going to lose it if I can get my diseases up on them. And here come a few more ads here to tango with, and I just get my diseases up on them, and they're no trouble. And I got a caster in the back here, but he's on me because of the Death and Decay, and no one else is attacking him, I don't think. So yeah, that was a pretty big pull there. I dare any druid at this level to try that pull, to try pulling that much, because it's a pretty ridiculous pull. I did get pretty low, but that's what my cooldowns are for. I had my Icebound Fortitude and all that good stuff, so it's not much trouble. That's the thing. You got a lot of cooldowns. You don't really need to use them for hardly anything. So, and that's what I'll save them for, is for the AOE pulls, because that's pretty much all that you need them for. But yeah, the main reason I'm doing this video is because, like I said, Big C mentioned he's looking for any assistance or any suggestions anyone want to give. So I'm hoping that this will help him out a little bit and give him any. I just hope he can get something out of this little run that I'm doing. And I hope that anyone else who's thinking of rolling a douche knight, as I like to call them, because I hated them so much in Lich King. I was kind of into PvP, but as you can tell, I'm into PvP. I have the name, my character's name, Nikoma, only it's spelled a little differently from the warrior. But yeah. Oh yeah. Here's another big pull here, and I stretched myself a little bit here, but because I think there was something up there that was attacked. I don't know if the rogue got up there or what happened, but they were beating the hell out of someone. And but yeah, now I have solid aggro on everything, and it's just cake. You just watch them just all go down, and the healer doesn't really have much trouble with anything. You just spam that blood boil and death strike whenever you can, and that's pretty much it. And we got another boss coming up here in just a minute. And like I say, the bosses are really nothing to, like, no problem whatsoever. And yeah, I moved my heal bot up. I just installed, or I got a new heal bot. It just updated finally. I was waiting for that for a while now, because I like Healbot, and now I can maybe get my Resto Shaman to 85 finally. Yeah, I got quite a few characters in WoW. I've been playing it quite a bit. That's part of the reason why I haven't been uploading much Mount and Blade lately, because of the fact that I've been getting back into WoW, and I've been able to raid again finally. So yeah, I'm loving it. And my main is an orc warrior, and he's not a. I'm not a tank on him, but I have an off tank spec, so when they need me, I can do it. And I got a pretty decent tanking set. It's not bad, but I'm mainly DPS, and I can pull some good numbers as arms. I got the Wormbreaker, I think it's called, the mace from what's that guy's name? Magmar or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I got that. I got Landslide on it, and I've been like one of the top DPS ever since. But yeah, we're getting close to the end of this instance. There's just a few more packs here, and then I don't even think I'll bother showing the rest of it after these packs here, because there's not really much else to show. Like I said, like all it is 2 bosses and 2 big Boglord type dudes, and those guys are easy. Like they're nothing. I remember back in the day, when Burning Crusade first came out, and you didn't, like, I was intimidated to tank these on my little troll warrior at the time, and I was new to World of Warcraft at that point too. Like I had my first level 60 about 2 weeks before Burning Crusade came out. So I consider myself a BC baby. Uh, but yeah, I haven't really seen too much good quality rating in Burning Crusade. Uh, Wrath of the Lich King, that's when I really shined. That's when I really got to see some good hardcore raiding in a guild on Deatharok named Seven, which is a funny story. There's one of the guys in on TGN Warcraft or TGN World of Warcraft named Towley used to be in that guild. I never even knew him back then. I do remember the name though. Now that I think about it, I remember seeing that name on Deatharok. But when I was in Seven, I never knew who Towley was. I'm not even sure if he was really making videos then. But yeah, it's just cool actually seeing him now and making all these really freaking sick PvP videos on tanks. But yeah, as you can see, it's the same routine every time. I just put up my diseases, pestilence, to get them on everybody, and I just blood boil and just keep on going. If it's a big enough pack, or if I'm worried about aggro, I'll throw down a Death and Decay, and then I will never lose aggro no matter what I do. There's no way to lose aggro once you drop Death and Decay and you got those diseases spread, and you're popping that blood boil. Like there's just it's just not possible. And you can see I'm keeping up with DPS pretty much as well. So at this point, like I say, it's just 4 mobs left. Roll 2 bosses and 2 of these Boglord dudes, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to cut to the end of the video, to the last boss. Okay, and we are back, and this is just before the last boss right here. Now, like I say, it's straightforward fights, and this one I figure, what the hell, it's the last boss, and I pop every single cooldown that I have just for shits and giggles, just because it's the end anyways, and it's not like it makes a difference one way or the other. So I just pop everything and just go nuts on them, and that's pretty much it. It's way too easy at this level. Now, if you don't have full heirlooms, you might have a little bit of a problem with doing like bigger pulls, but you're not going to have a problem on bosses or anything like that. Check with your healer. If he thinks it's getting hard to heal you, then maybe you should do lesser pulls, like smaller pulls. But that's pretty much it. And as you can see on my recount, I got the highest DPS, and I'll even I believe I even set it to the entire instance there, so that you can see that I did the most DPS like for the entire instance and for the last fight. So anyways, that's about it, guys. That's all I have for you today. But guys, if you let me know. I'm looking for feedback here. If this video helped you out any, or if you like this video, let me know. Please comment on it, even if it's bad. I like to know. You can also like or dislike the video, rate it, add it to your favorites, whatever. But yeah, let me know. And if you'd like to see more World of Warcraft content, by all means, I would love to do some WoW content for my channel. And that's about it for now. If you want to see more vids from me, or if you want to see my Mount and Blade Let's Plays, you can feel free to check them out. And until next time, guys, have a good one.